Hello and welcome everyone. Today is going to be an interesting discussion because there's been a lot of unfortunate events happening in my ecosystem as it relates to my clients. Specifically, this video and this workshop that I'm planning for next month is really to help my existing clients and also any new clients that come in moving forward. In the last few years, cryptocurrency, crypto investing has really picked up a lot of steam. Okay. And with that, there's been a tremendous amount of cryptocurrency scams that have occurred in the marketplace at the highest levels and also at the lowest, right? When I mean at the highest levels, I'm talking, even billionaires, multimillionaires getting scammed, right? Or being part of a scam. And then at the lowest levels, people who are only making, 30, 40, 50K a year, and they're investing a couple $100 a month, a couple $1,000 a year, and they're getting scammed, right? Which is very unfortunate. So this video is to really address some of those things. I want to talk about my experience in the crypto space, how I've invested. And to this point, I've never been scammed. I've never lost any money necessarily to a crypto investment that turned out to be a scam. And I think the reason for that is some of the parameters I personally have in place, some rules that I follow, some early education that I received, and also ultimately my mindset, the way that I'm looking at crypto investing and cryptocurrency and just that whole industry, the way my mindset is looking at that particular space, right? So first and foremost, starting next month, literally tomorrow, I'm going to be hosting a crypto investing workshop offline. Okay, we'll get to interact one-to-one. I'm going to bring in an expert really to create a foundation, right? Most crypto workshops or channels that you might listen to on social media or online are hyper focused on how to make money passively in cryptocurrencies, right? And I think it's way too early still, in my opinion, to jump right into how to make money passively when the industry itself, for the most part, is still actively growing, actively building, actively creating new systems and processes to eventually create passive income streams for folks or investors, things like that. So I think it's way too early, in my opinion, to be thinking as a consumer, as an investor, how can I make money in crypto? How can I invest money in crypto passively, so to speak? Like if that's your first thought going right into this, chances are you've probably already been scammed once or twice. And at this point, it's kind of interesting. A lot of people have become numb to like scams in the crypto space. It's almost like expected. It's like they go to invest and like, hey, and I don't know, it might go to zero, it might go to the moon. I'm like, what kind of thought process is that when it comes to investing? Why are we not taking the same precautions that we do with real estate, that we do with starting up a new business, that we do with looking at a stock, right, in the market? Why are we not looking at the numbers, evaluating the company's revenues, history, who runs the company, their education, who's the CEO, what's the market look like, what's the industry, what are the systems? Like, why are we not asking those questions when it comes to crypto? It's almost like, well, if Elon Musk says it's good, or if Donald Trump says it's good, or if some YouTuber that has 1 million subscribers says it's good, then my clients, unfortunately, and then those of you that are watching or catching the replay, are just taking that as truth and you're running with it. Very, very unfortunate. I don't like to see it. So I'm hoping I can take a little bit of time. This is not something that my channel covers. I don't cover crypto investing a whole lot. It's probably 1 to maybe 5% of my videos might touch on cryptocurrencies because I myself have invested in crypto since, say, 2019. 2019, 2020 is when I first started investing in cryptocurrency, right? And so we're talking about a 4-year history, roughly, of investing in the crypto space. And again, I've never been scammed. I've never lost money to an investment that went to zero, so to speak, like, or any kind of project, because I have certain templates in place. And I also sought out education first before how can I make money, right? It's like, how do I just understand what is going on in this particular space? Where is it headed, right? Who are the early adopters? Who are the teachers in this space right now? Who are the geeks, so to speak, the ones that don't really care about making money? You got to find those kinds of teachers and those kinds of influencers are the geeks, the ones that are just so obsessed, they're so interested, and they want to help people, they want to get people educated. If they make money in the process, great. But they're not, hey, click my link below here to get 2 free cryptocurrencies and then do this and you get $50 and I get $50 and then join my crypto course over here. Like, they may have those things, but it's not something they're consistently like putting on every single video they put out. It's like they're like detailed oriented on one specific cryptocurrency or altcoin or DeFi, or they'll talk about regulation or deregulation. They'll talk about taxes. You got to look for those geeks, the teachers, the early adopters that aren't interested in making money, although that might be a result of their good works, right? So I don't down them for making money, right? We all have to make money. I get that. But their focus, right, is on like actually helping people get into this space ethically, responsibly, right, and move forward. So let's take things to the whiteboard. Like I always say, you got to know your 4 major numbers before you do anything. Before you do anything that relates to your money, you have got to know where you stand financially, okay? Now, ideally, in my personal opinion, right, those of you who are looking to invest in the crypto space, right, I would like you to have at least $500 to $1,500 or more in cash flow per month. It would be nice if you had 0 debt or just a mortgage, right? I would like to see you spend less money than what you make. I'd like you to have discipline. I'd like you to be a decent or good steward over your money. I'd also like you to know who you are and what your focus is on. Where do you create value, right? So who you are is important to know, right? And how you create value, right? How do you create value that results in more income being created? If you're betting on crypto creating the value for you so that it produces the income, that ultimately, in my opinion, is going to lead to a lot of disappointment, in my personal opinion. Right? I think it'll lead to a lot being disappointed, let down, ultimately probably getting scammed, right? Because if you're not disciplined, if you're not a good steward, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know how you create value, if you don't know your numbers, I promise you, right, I can almost guarantee there's going to be a guru, an influencer online, more than likely, because that's where this kind of stuff is getting exposed. Online, maybe some interactions with a coworker, but for the most part, it's online. a very, very charismatic, influential type of a guru, or even a very popular individual, right? That might be in Hollywood, or someone that you admire, someone that you look up to, is going to manipulate you, right? Because again, if you don't know who you are and you don't know how you create value, if you're not disciplined with money, you don't know your four major numbers, you are in a vulnerable, desperate position. So then you are seeking out help, which is not a bad thing. You seek out help so someone can help you with your finances, right? But it's the way you're seeking it out. You're trying to skip so many steps. You're trying to skip the education phase. You're trying to skip the foundation phase. You're skipping all of these fundamental moves, and you're hopping right to and hoping on the credibility of that influencer, that guru, that content creator, betting all your chips on that, and then ultimately getting scammed, right? And what's crazy is that influencer or guru, especially because of not a whole lot of regulation in the space right now, can easily get away with playing the victim as you, because they can say things like, oh, I also had money in this too, guys, right? I also lost money in this too. And it's like, the money they lost is probably from the affiliate commissions that they got and the referrals and the monetization from YouTube of their viral trending crypto videos that they made. That's really the money. They didn't lose money. They didn't lose money. They didn't lose money like you lost money. There's a difference. If you're looking at a multi-millionaire content creator, influential type of person that's bringing in loads and loads of cash flow, very, very profitable, for them to lose $10,000, $100,000, they don't lose sleep over it. But for you, making 50, 70, 80, 100K, 150K a year and lose 50 grand and lose 75 grand is detrimental to your debt elimination process, detrimental to your finances, detrimental to your marriage probably, because you didn't tell spouse that you were investing in crypto. You didn't tell her or him how much you were doing, okay? And ultimately, it leads to a massive amount of frustration. And I'm creating this kind of video right now because I've had a number of clients get scammed at this point, okay? And it's very frustrating because of the way we're talking about grown, mature individuals, right? Majority of my clientele, majority of my audience are between the ages of 35 and 55 and up. 70% of my audience are grown, right? 70% are over the age of 40, right? Kids, married, the whole nine, men and women. That means you are full adult males and females. The issue is when it comes to how you make financial decisions, you are like a child. And please don't take that as an offense, right? It's for you to become aware, right? It's for you to become fully aware. Like, wait a minute, yes, you're a full adult. You've birthed children, right? You're a husband. You have a career. You have a responsibility. You have a home. You have cars. You have bills. You have debts, right? You have loads and loads of responsibilities. But as it relates to your money, you were never taught how to become a full adult male or female, mature with your financial decision-making process, with your finances, with how you invest. You invest like a child. What I mean by that is whatever looks nice, whatever looks attractive, whatever looks like it has the highest ROI, right? You're looking at all the shiny stuff when it comes to investing. You are like an adolescent child, maybe a teenager that's going through adolescence, maybe a wild toddler is how you guys invest. Grown adult males and females. And yes, I get it. I'm 28 years old, right? I don't know a whole lot about a whole lot. But I can tell you I am financially mature as if compared to you having children, family, responsibilities, debts. So you may be more mature than me in those other areas of life, so to speak. But again, I've been spending over a decade fine-tuning, getting in sync, understanding my DNA, who I am as an investor, right? To not make financial decisions based on how I'm feeling or the time of the day or who's influencing me. My financial maturity is as if I was a 40 plus, 50 plus year old man with multiple kids, wife, married for multiple decades. That's the equation. That's what I'm trying to draw here. So you could say I am a adolescent. I'm like a child, say, when it comes to looking at, say, what a 20, 30-year marriage would look like with kids, home, responsibilities, things like that. I don't yet know that responsibility. I don't know that maturity, right? And I'm making that comparison for you as it relates to how you invest in cryptocurrency, how you invest generally. You are like a child, innocent, you naive, like you don't know what's behind the red door, the black door, the white door. You don't know what's on the other side. You just open it and run right through and say, yeah, here you go. Wonderful, attractive looking content creator and guru. Yes, you're going to change my life and make me all this money passively. Oh my God. And not realizing it's like the industry's just started. What are we talking passive? You want to be looking at how do I get involved in things that are in the ground, that are actively growing, processes and systems are being put in place, and then maybe one day, someday, creating passive income, but that's not the reason why you do it, okay? So that's giving you the overview there on just how I'm talking to clients and what I want you to have in place. This workshop that I'm going to be starting next month, some of the key points that we're going to be covering is just crypto education 101. Like a foundation, fundamental, whether you do it or not, gives you a foundation on which to stand on. An investing template, right? Crypto scams. We're going to go through big crypto scams that have hit mainstream, like FTX, or these big YouTubers like Logan Paul and others that have been involved in crypto scams that were part of it, right? But still operating today as if nothing happened yet. There's so many people that are still recovering financially. Like you lost a ton of money, maybe had to go bankrupt. And then everyday scams, like someone stealing out of your account, wallets because you gave your keys to the wrong person, whatever the case may be. So crypto scams, crypto safety, right? Just understanding how to safely protect your investments, just like you would with real estate, just like you would with investment portfolio. How do you put protection around it, like insurance products, right? Or putting your assets in trust. Understanding how to do that in the crypto space, and then understanding how to analyze a crypto, how to analyze a project, a DeFi project, or whatever the case may be, fintech, you name it. How to analyze these things and what are the risks involved. Here are the dates of the workshop that we're putting together. October 1st, 8th, 5th, 22nd, 29th. So 5 workshops in the month of October. Gather for about an hour and a half up to maybe 2 hours from 3 to 5 p.m. each day, Eastern time. Okay? In that, I'll talk about my experience. I'll share a little bit with you now, just what my approach has been and how I've avoided scams over the years and continue to avoid scams, right? So this is my experience so far in the crypto space, right? Which is long-term approach, okay? As it relates to crypto, I don't even know when it started. I just know that it's still in its earliest. It's the whole thing, the whole industry is still very early. So I'm looking at this, not how can I make money? That's not the first question I'm asking. How can I make money? My question is, how do I ethically get involved in this space that can one day, someday, maybe create passive income, right? So passive income, right? Increasing asset values is, let's say, an end result. It is not something I'm looking at today, right here, right now. It's not a majority of my time, energy, and focused on it. My whole thing is, how do I get involved in the foundation, in the early stages of whatever those crypto projects are, that I could, contribute a portion, a small percentage of my income without the intent of necessarily making a ton of money. But if I have some level of ownership and control in that particular space, that's how I'm looking at it. And ultimately that would produce a result of, say, passive income. So long-term approach, I'm looking at 40 years. I'm 28. So by 68, right? Or in my case, when I go back 4 years, 24, by 64. If I don't see results till 64, I'm still not going to be upset, because I understand that this may take an entire generation for this entire thing to really go global, worldwide, fully in force, so to speak, whatever that may mean. Now, anything that happens before 40 years, great. That's great to me. Like I'm going to still keep this long-term approach, because I'm thinking about not just myself, but I'm also thinking about the next generation, my heirs, my children, my children's children. They will most likely grow up in a society that is fully digital as it relates to how we transact today. I mean, we're pretty much in a digital financial economy today. Most of what we spend money on is through credit cards and debit cards. So that you're already in it, right? But we still have not made the crossover yet as it relates to a cryptocurrency and the US dollar. We still haven't made that crossover yet, but the concept of everything being digital, we understand that for the most part. It's pretty much there, right? And what I'm getting at is, I do believe, the next generation will most likely be transacting in some sort of a crypto centralized type of a currency, more than likely. So my whole thing is, how do I get invested in different types of utilities or different types of functions that helps that space, that industry of crypto run? So how do I get involved in things that, regardless of whatever the coin, whatever the investment is, regardless of it going up or down, how do I have control or ownership of the actual system, the machine that keeps the whole thing running, right? So when you get involved in those kinds of projects, now you've got control and ownership, which can one day, someday lead to an income producing asset in the crypto space. So an income producing asset may not be the same as a passive investment, such as a coin or cryptocurrency or some kind of DeFi project where you're putting money in, you're getting an ROI, right? Versus an income producing asset could be some type of a system, some type of a technology, some type of an AI that provides a service to those investors or to the customers of the crypto industry, and I get cash flow that way. Regardless of what happens to any one of those coins, you're servicing the customers. That's how I like to get involved in that particular space personally, right? Now, 1 to 5% of my income, still to this day, I don't put more than 5% of my income in the crypto space. It's 1 to 5% of my portfolio. 1 to 5% of my time and focus is even put into that. I don't know a whole lot. I know enough to keep myself safe and to avoid scams. And that's what I'm most concerned with, because losing money and getting scammed, right, is such a major delay in financial success. Getting scammed and losing money, right? It kills momentum, right? It creates pain, it creates trauma, creates delays, right? And those are things you can't show on a spreadsheet, right? And then also cash flow or replacement of expenses is another component in terms of between now and 40 years. So in between that gap of 40 years, right? Between now, starting at say 24 years old, 28 and onward until I get to age 64 or sooner, right? I do like the idea of some sort of cash flow that can be produced, right? And to kind of shorten the gap, if it took about 5 to 7 years to create some level of cash flow, whereas most of you, your timeline is 6 months to a year, because that's what the gurus are talking about, right? So the timeline is so short. I think it's much more efficient to be looking at a 5 to 7 year increment in terms of cash flow creation or some level of passive income, right? So for me, cash flow or replacement of expenses is what I'm also aiming for in the interim until I've created a massive portfolio in that crypto space, right, in the crypto industry. So a little example of replacement of expenses and also a form of cash flow is one of the platforms that I've invested in is called crypto.com. Okay. So if you were to type in crypto.com, it's an app you download on your phone, very, very similar to Coinbase or some of the other ones that are pretty popular. Crypto.com, still to this day, I have not seen a big scandal around it today. From what I've seen on these crypto exchange platforms, right? So a crypto.com or Coinbase is a platform that everyday people can make an account, you have a wallet, and you can start to buy cryptocurrencies or get involved in different like DeFi projects, okay? What I've seen crypto.com do is, let's just say the cost to buy Bitcoin is $50,000. On crypto.com, it's slightly more expensive, right? So if one Bitcoin costs 50 grand, or let's see what the cost is today. I think it's like 60 something thousand. Yeah. So on crypto.com, the cost of one Bitcoin right now is $64,334.44, right? Now, if I go on Google and let's look up cost of one Bitcoin today. Let's see. 63,000. Okay, it's like jumping right now. It's 63,600. It's like hard to keep track with it. But my point that I'm trying to make is that the cost of all the different cryptocurrencies that you see on crypto.com, I'd be willing to bet that you could probably go on a different platform and get that same currency for slightly cheaper, right? So it's like, I don't know. That's what I've seen. It's what I've heard other content creators mention. It's like crypto.com is putting a little bit of like a I don't know if I would call it a fee, because you don't see it, right? I don't see no fees or anything like that, but it does seem like it's slightly more expensive. And I think that helps the crypto.com platform be profitable from what I'm seeing that. The other thing that I've seen that I like is this gamification and simplicity. It looks very simple when I go on that crypto.com app. Very simple, easy to use. And it seems like it's very focused on not only the investor, but like how people will perceive cryptocurrencies, how they can spend it, how they can use it, right? So I like that platform. Again, never been scammed on it before, never had any issues. There are additional levels of safety that you should take, such as having a cold wallet, right? If you go on Coinbase or crypto.com, you essentially have what's called a hot wallet. The stuff that you buy on there is not necessarily yours, even though you see it in your account. It's not truly yours until you take it off that platform into your own, what's called a private key or a cold wallet, right? Where it's just like it's off these exchanges. Again, I don't really know what I'm saying fully, but again, I know enough to have enough safety to protect myself, right? In this space. Because again, it's like the wild, wild west still. Things are brand new, things are growing. But back to my point on crypto from a consumer perspective, because I don't mind being a consumer if it can replace or reduce my cost of living. And that helps me today, right? So for example, with crypto.com, they've got these debit cards, right? That was like another level of like credibility that I liked. So this right here is a debit card, right? And it's, what is this, partnered with either MasterCard, I believe if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, Visa. Yeah, so this is the Visa card, right? So that means crypto.com partnered with Visa to create a card that literally you can convert crypto, sell it into US dollars, cash, load it onto this card, and then go spend it, right? So from a consumer standpoint, right, crypto.com seems to be ahead of the game, just understanding the psychology of the everyday consumer, right? And so they created these cards, which are not cheap to get. This card right here, if you wanted to get this card, you have to have, what is it, $40,000 worth of crypto.com's exclusive currency, right? So crypto.com has their own, say, digital currency called CRO, right? Or Chronos, right? Right now it's trading at like 8.5 cents a coin. So back in 2019, 2020, 2021, I started buying those CROs. And then on the app itself, you could invest those CROs and get an ROI of like 8, 10%, whatever the case may be. So I did that. Very little, very slowly. Again, long-term approach. Wasn't expecting nothing crazy out of it. And then I want to say might have been 2022 or end of 2021, I think. That particular coin that right now it's trading at like 8 cents a coin. Back then it was also trading at like 8, 9, 10, 11 cents a coin. And it went all the way up to nearly $1. When that happened, I had so many CROs valued at between 8 cents and like 15 cents. And I had like thousands of them, tens of thousands, if I'm not mistaken. And all of that increased to nearly over just about under $1, like 90 something cents. Well, that created enough value, right, where basically I had $40,000 worth of CRO, and then I got the card. So the way you get it, you have to invest. You have to lock that $40,000 worth of CRO with crypto.com. So I did that. Got the card. What did that result in? Well, it's got many features on there, but 3 in particular that caught my eye, again, as a consumer, psychology, understanding psychology of customers and what's important to them, is having this card offsets my Spotify expense, right? My Spotify subscription, my Amazon subscription, and I get access to free airport lounges across the United States and abroad, right? And I get to bring one guest with this particular card. So I get access to airport lounges that cost money, and I get to hang out in there nice and comfortable before I get on a plane. I can bring my fiance with me, right? Or one time I was traveling with Alex Albaran, who's a partner of mine. I've had him on my channel a few times. I brought him to the lounge, and we was grubbing. We was eating for free. It was cool. Saves me money, right? And then again, my Amazon subscription, I'm probably never going to get rid of that, right? It's a value add. And then Spotify subscription, probably never going to get rid of that. It's a value add. It's an expense I'm already accounting for in my expenses, but when I run it on here, I get 100% back in the form of Crypto.com's currency. So I pay $13.57, I get $13.57 worth of CRO. So I get 100% of my money back on that particular expense, which again, I could sell it, right, for cash and then use it again to pay the, pay the expense, right? And it's like consumerism, which again, I don't mind. That's just how I prefer, because I create value in another market, in another place, right? I have a business that creates cash flow and it's very profitable. So for the time being, two ways that I'm kind of involved in the crypto space is as a customer, as a consumer, how can I replace or reduce expenses that I already have, which would increase cash flow today, and I use that cash flow to go invest, make more money in these other places, right? So that's like consumer standpoint. And then as an investor, I'm looking at how can I create income producing assets. I would argue that this card, right, for the most part, especially in right now, I think is super overpriced. Even back then, super overpriced. I was like 40 grand. I would never spend $40,000 to get a card just to get 100% off Spotify, Netflix, Amazon, free airport lounges. You get a higher ROI. There's a bunch of other benefits in there as it relates to this specific card, but still, in my opinion, not worth no 40 grand, right? The reality though, what the opportunity that happened for me was I was 1 to 5% of my income was going to that CRO, right, and different coins as well. And I just kept investing it, locking up, getting a rate of return. I was getting, 8, 10%, whatever it is on the coin. And I think I had say 4,000, maybe 14,000, I don't know how many, whatever, 11 cents, between 8 and 15 cents. And then all those coins, thousands of them, increased to 90 something cents. So it's like overnight, my account was like at like 4, 6, 7K, and then it was like 40 something thousand. And I was like, oh, whoa. Well, instead of me selling, I was like, well, let me just get this card as a consumer. And, even this is pretty cool just to use if I ever need to get cash from an ATM, right? If I'm out and about, not bad. So again, that's just kind of been my 2 plays so far. All right, this is my experience. Again, never been scammed. I'm not saying go do this and go do that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just giving you my experience, what's worked, right? And then wanting you to be aware of certain things, how we should be looking at it, right? Understand that you need to know who you are. You need to be able to create value somewhere else so that you take the excess cash flow from that small percentage that you're willing to lose, right? Because unfortunately, we do have to have some level of just awareness that, yeah, there is a possibility, and that's with any investment, that I can lose money. So we need to know what our capacity is to lose money, right? Tell you a story. I've got one client that invested $35,000 in a Bitcoin ATM machine, and they pretty much got scammed. It's not making any money, right? So that particular client that invested $35,000 of debt, They didn't have $35,000 in cash, right? They leveraged their home equity line of credit doing velocity banking to make an investment, took a chunk, 35K, while in already a massive amount of debt. Their hope was that what? The Bitcoin ATM machine would make them so much money passively to help them pay off their debt. Their timeline was too small. It was too short, right? And understanding how volatile, up and down, how, as I mentioned, this chrono CRO currency was at 8 cents a coin, went all the way up to like 90 something cents, and then it crashed, went all the way, today it's now at 8-9 cents, trading at 8 or 9 cents. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin had went all the way up to like the high 60s and 70s, where it's now back at today. But at one point, it went all the way down to like 20 something, 30 something thousand. It just tanked. And that was, I want to say, around the time my client invested 35 grand. It was going up, and then boom, it crashed. Right. And so that caused a lot of people to, pull back. Another example, I think we need to be fully aware of, have our awareness up. This should be considered a red flag, in my personal opinion, as it relates to investing in cryptocurrencies, is if there's a company or an organization that will accept your US dollars, right? They'll take your US dollars and they'll invest in crypto for you, and almost like a financial advisor would, where you invest money in a 401k or an IRA, right? And they're going to take that money and go invest in cryptocurrencies and create some kind of rate of return in that account. I think, especially for this time right now, in 2024, maybe for the next few years, I think that should be a red flag in and of itself. Give you an example. I've had multiple clients invest anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 or more in someone else investing in crypto for them, right? And you really don't have much protection when you do that, versus if you have a financial advisor that is managing your portfolio of investments in your Roth IRA or 401k. I think there's more protection there. But these like fly-by companies, I think Novatech is one of them. That was a major scam that happened. One of my clients invested a ton of money with Novatech. Yes, they were making money for a period of time, and then eventually one day it just all stopped, right? And that's kind of how these companies get. They're helping some people. They get real big, they get famous, content creator starts talking about them, multiple content creators, influencers, gurus start talking about them. They bring in so much money, they raise so much capital, something crazy happens in the crypto space, Bitcoin goes down, everything else goes down, and then they lock up funds, they stop paying everybody. I don't know what they do with the funds, but there's like less regulation there. So I don't think anyone watching this video or catching the replay, my personal opinion, I don't think you should give your money to any organization to invest in the cryptocurrency industry. I don't think you should do it. I think you yourself need to understand how to create a cold wallet, understand hot wallet, understand the blockchain slightly, understand how a transaction or an investment is even made, understanding what a cryptocurrency is, what a DeFi project is, and understanding these different, what is an NFT, just kind of understanding these different things, right? And you yourself can anonymously invest in the crypto space in the most safe way possible. Learn how to do that first before you just give your money, because again, as the everyday American, we're used to investing using our 401ks, our Roth IRAs, our brokerage accounts, and then have someone else manage that and then give us a rate of return. So we're kind of already been conditioned, and then we bring that same mentality into the crypto space. Absolutely dangerous. I don't think you should do that. Right? I think the whole point of the space is about like this decentralization and deregulation and independence, right? To invest. It's like, well, why? With that in mind, why are you then delegating all your wealth to someone else to do it for you and hoping that they're gonna, do the right thing? Right? Like that's just absolutely dangerous. Okay. So that was it. Know your numbers, right? A little recap. Know your numbers. Understand this part. These will be some of the topics we're going to cover in this workshop. If you'd like to be a part of it, just email me directly. I have it in the chat there, my email, but I'll throw it up on the screen. Email me directly. You want to be a part of this workshop. It's completely free. The workshop is free. I'm not charging for the workshop, and I'm bringing someone with a lot of knowledge and understanding of the space to help educate us make better decisions as it relates to this. All I'm asking is that you would give, donate, contribute to one of the two nonprofit organizations that I'm a big fan of and very supportive of. At least $20, nothing crazy, right? And that just shows that you're gonna, commit and show up to the workshop. Again, I'm not forcing you. You don't have to be a part of this workshop. You don't have to join, right? There's plenty of free crypto education knowledge out there. We don't have to give anything at all. In fact, if you want to be a part of it and you're like, I don't want to give, Denzel, but I want to be a part of it, let me know. Just let me know, right? Because I don't mind, right? Just sharing, like, all right, you show up, you may not, okay? I'm simply asking, can you give? Because I'm giving my time, right? And I'm having someone come in with a level of knowledge and expertise. They're giving their time. So we would appreciate if you gave something, right, to one of these nonprofit organizations. One is called Make-A-Wish, and the other one is Samaritan's Purse. Samaritan's Purse right now is being deployed to all the areas that has been affected by that hurricane. I forgot the name, Helen, I think, that has just devastated, Tennessee? Who else got hit real bad? I know like Tampa, Florida, right? West side, Florida, the Panhandle. I know they got messed up real bad. And I know Tennessee got destroyed. So if you'd like to contribute at least $20 or more, take a screenshot, email it to me. Denzel, send me the link so I can register for the workshop. Happy to have you. Again, this is for people that are interested in investing in crypto. You want to do it the right way. You want to do it ethically. You want to do it safely. You want to avoid scams. And you want to just have it as a part of your portfolio, right? Hey, if it makes a ton of money, great. If it doesn't, I'm not, gonna get all upset and hide under a rock, right? Because hopefully I can get you to get the same mindset I have in the long-term approach, that this particular space is going to take a lot of time for it to really build out, right? And be effective. So let me look at some of the questions you guys have. Have you read Nate Silver's book, On the Edge? It's a good one. I think you'd appreciate it. I'll check that out. Right. While crypto has been growing on FOMO, it's not. It lacks fundamentals. More money is lost through financial fraud at large banks than has ever been lost through crypto. Okay, more money is lost through financial fraud at large banks than has ever been lost through crypto. I mean, yes, you could say that, but let's also recognize that cryptocurrency is still so new, and not a whole lot of money is being poured into the crypto market just yet. So I would say, well, if crypto has been around as long as these large banks, then you could probably make a more fair comparison that maybe, yeah, there'd be a ton of fraud going on in the crypto space or large history. Now, to see that, okay, The crypto space is so young, but yet there's so much stains already on it, so much bad reputation of criminals and cartels and, you know, corrupt politicians, corrupt business owners, corrupt influencers, just scamming a bunch of people, creating a bunch of what's called shit coins, right? That just are ridiculous, mean nothing, get a bunch of money, and then you steal it, run away, and start another coin. And so it already has a really bad reputation. It's not even that young yet. Large banks also have a bad reputation, but they've been around for so long. And so I don't know if it's a fair comparison just yet, but I understand what you're saying. I manage rental properties and I accept rent in Bitcoin. That's cool. That's the question everyone is looking for an answer to. No one knows yet. The crypto space is something evolving rapidly. 40 years is like 40 centuries in crypto time. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Not your keys, not your Bitcoin. We need to learn to manage our own wallets offline. Coinbase, crypto, or any other exchange is only a good on-ramp or off-ramp before pip trading. Okay, don't know too much about the pip trading. I think you're referring to like, is that pips? I think Forex trading. So I don't know if it's like kind of like the same. But yeah, I think like a Coinbase, I think crypto.com, these exchange platforms, to his point, is like a good starter for a beginner, right? You just want to like, you know, buy something for the first time, see what it does, see how you feel. Like you're just kind of checking things out, navigating the apps and platforms. There's so much just to navigating, right? Before you invest anything, it's just like, just navigate, just kind of look around, see what is going on. There's a lot happening in that particular space, right? Just like most stock exchanges, crypto exchanges have trading fees, etc. When you trade offline, peer-to-peer, you skip the exchange fees. Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, so what I was alluding to earlier about crypto.com, it's almost as if sometimes the coins are more expensive if you compared it to like Coinbase, let's say. And so he's talking about like trading fees. Like again, you won't see it, but it'll be in the price of which that time and point that you bought it at, right? And it could be hard to like keep up with it because these different coins, they're like this. They're like trading so fast, up and down, the prices jump, it's crazy. So it's like right when you're about to buy it, it might change in price. Like I don't know. So how we doing, Sonny? Good to see you. Other than that, I don't see if anyone got any questions, drop them in there. If not, this is going to be a quick little, you know, intro, my experience with cryptocurrency investing, what I've done so far, you know, what I like, what I don't like, what to be aware of. And that workshop is starting tomorrow offline. We'll be on Zoom, right? All the workshops are going to be recorded, available for replay. Again, it's completely free. All I'm asking is that you give at least $20 to Samaritan's Purse. You can look them up, or Make-A-Wish Foundation. They're pretty popular, Make-A-Wish. And then you just email me that screenshot, hey, I gave, and then I'll send you the link to register. Again, it starts tomorrow, right? And it's going to be a build-up. We're going to start ground level and then go slightly advanced. We're not going to overwhelm too much. We want to give you a foundation on which to stand on as it relates to the crypto space, and then go from there. All right? Don't see any other questions. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be talking soon. Thank you so much. Bye now.